Jiha Hooch. This is an Irish greeting literally meaning, may God be with you. Take a moment, close your eyes, listen to the waves hitting the side of tall cliffs. Feel the mist on your face. These are the things that you may hear and feel when visiting Ireland. Ireland is a place of a beautiful, rich history. They fought hard for their political system now and for their religious freedoms. It is also a place that is filled with good music, food, and a beautiful culture. So let's go on a trip. We're going to time travel and visit this beautiful country's rich history. We're going to start someplace where a lot of people should know who this is. After all, we do have a holiday. It's St. Patrick. In 432 AD, St. Patrick came to Ireland and brought Christianity along with him. He also wrote two main letters to the people of Ireland called the Confessio and the Letter of Quarticus. These were both things that were explaining Christianity. In an effort to honor St. Patrick, the Irish people created a holiday for him that would be his feast. So every March 17th, the people of Ireland celebrate what St. Patrick did for them. All right, let's move on to our next stop in our time traveling. We go to 1541. We are going to meet King Henry VIII. We all know about his many wives, but did you know that he was basically the self-proclaimed King of Ireland? He did this in an effort to take over and overthrow the Catholic Church. He hated what they were doing and wanted to create his own religious system, so the more power he had in Europe, the better. Last, we move on to World War II. Picture it. September 1939. Ireland had decided to stay neutral during this time, which made Winston Churchill not the happiest. He was bewildered and upset that Ireland, someone that England had been so close to, had decided to not take a side. There were three main reasons as to why our friends in Ireland decided not to take a side. First was the Prime Minister declaration to make sure that there was anti-submarine operations happening. Then we have David Gray. He was the U.S. minister that was in Ireland, specifically Dublin. He wanted the U.S. to basically have control over the treaty ports. And then we have the Chicago Civil Aviation Non-Agreement. This agreement allowed all commercial flights from the U.S. to land in Ireland. So really, Ireland was saying they were neutral, basically so they didn't have to fight. All right, now that we've learned about the history, it's time to move on to the beautiful culture of this country. One of my favorites is the river dancing. River dancing is known all across the world. People see it and immediately know what it is. Next, we have all the songs that have been passed through generations, many of which were never written down or recorded because the families would sing them to one another and pass them on. In many of the songs that you hear from Ireland, you'll hear a language that you may not know. And that language is their national language, which is Irish Gaelic, which is much different than the Scottish Gaelic that they speak in Scotland. And then we have the food. one of my favorite things. There is the soda bread, Irish stew, and white and black pudding. When I say white and black pudding, that does not mean dessert. It's actually a bunch of potatoes. And then, for me, every St. Patrick's Day, I put together my own Irish tradition. Being a little bit of Irish myself, I always have to have corned beef with cabbage and potatoes. It's my favorite. And of course, what what Irish event wouldn't be complete without a little bit of alcohol? I always have Jameson with ginger ale. Now that we have looked at the history and culture of Ireland, we now move on to the political system and religion. Ireland's political views and religion are a lot like that of England. Their government is a parliamentary democracy. This is when the party with the greatest representation in parliament forms the government, and then the leader becomes the prime minister or the chancellor. And once upon a time, the Irish people believed in gods and goddesses, a lot like those of Greek and Roman mythology. Some of these gods and goddesses were that of the Morrigan. The Morrigan is the goddess of death, discord, and war. Having these beliefs made Ireland and the people very superstitious, some of which they still hold today. Some of their superstitions may sound silly, but they believe in them wholeheartedly. As we have seen, Ireland is truly a beautiful country with so much to offer. I have gone over the history, culture, political system, and religion of one of my favorite countries. For now, that is it. I hope that one day I get to visit Ireland. And I hope that this presentation made you feel like you wanted to visit Ireland too. May God be with you.